Hello, this is Horror Studio One, and this is my unedited podcast. Welcome back to the world of HS1. This is Horror Studio One coming to you with my unedited podcast once again. Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing? How's your day? Feeling good? Feeling fresh? Ready for some scares? Ready for what I'm about to say today after seeing my awesome title and clicking on it? Yeah, man, that actually fucking happened. But before talking about that, I have something to talk about. Recently, I watched the new Ant-Man movie. I know it's been out for a while, but I really didn't get a chance to see it yet. But I recently watched it. I really liked it and I really enjoyed it and I thought it was a great film. Contrary to popular belief, I do not only watch horror films. If you guys have listened to my other stuff, you guys will know that I like movies all in general, and I watched that one. It was pretty damn good. There's a couple aspects I do like about it. I want to talk a bit about that before starting our topic of the day. Well, one thing I found really happy was finally Paul Rudd gets a chance at a breakthrough role. So, I mean, I've always kind of liked Paul Rudd as an actor. I loved him in 40-Year-Old Virgin. He was pretty good in This Is 40. Here's a couple of films that I found that he was really good in, and he's a pretty good-looking guy. I always found it weird that he was never really the star in any of those movies, Knocked Up, that kind of stuff. I really noticed the guy. He was a funny, charming individual, and, I'm really happy to see that, he finally did get his breakthrough role as Ant-Man in 2015, And yeah, it's never too late to get your breakthrough role, and he's finally did it, so I'm very happy for him. And Ant-Man itself was a really great film, I found. It kind of felt... It had like a Spider-Man vibe. I don't know if it was because they were both insects and they're superheroes or something like that. But I really enjoyed it above a lot of other action or Marvel superhero movies, the Avengers and stuff like that. Those ones are good. They're popcorn flicks as well. But it was just something about Ant-Man that I really did enjoy about it. It was really genuine in my opinion. It did follow a very classic superhero film kind of mold, obviously. But what I did like about it was that it mixed comedy with the action hero genre very well, in my opinion. And I mean, if you guys have listened to my other podcasts, you guys will know that I adore that kind of mixing of genres. I really like it when comedy gets overlapped with sentiments, or romantic stuff gets a bit of horror or stuff like that. And, if all that gets mixed up, it's just a really great adventure, and it's a really great ride for the viewer who's viewing the content and the movie. So I felt like Ant-Man had a dose of every little thing that I found was interesting. And yeah, it just had the thrills and suspense and the draw of a superhero movie, while still having, it felt, it was true to Paul Rudd as a comedic actor. He got to show his, comedy chops on the screen, what he's best known for, and then, it's packaged into a Marvel superhero movie, a comedy movie. So I really did enjoy that, and if you guys haven't seen it yet, I'm not sure if it's still in theaters, because I guess I'm pretty late to watch it as well, but if it's still in theaters when this podcast comes out, definitely go check it out. Waste $12 going to the movies, just have a good time kind of thing, but or just catch it on DVD basically. So I just want a bit about that. And the thing I really liked about Ant-Man as well, which is really, it kind of deals with the topic of our day as well, is that it really took a risk, in my opinion. As opposed to more serious Marvel comic movies, which, sell really well. This time they took a different approach. Everything was really big before, The cast was big, special effects were big, everyone was big, the Hulk was big, their enemies were big, the Avengers were big, they did that whole really big kind of thing, and I think they're going with a new direction with the superhero films, that they took it really small, this time. They made the superhero an ant, the size of an ant, and I mean, if you took that 10 years ago, people would think it was a stupid concept, maybe, they would never fly. But I guess it's because the market right now, there's not a lot of unique kind of films that do that. And to be honest, anything that comes out with Marvel, with a Marvel stamp on it, is already pretty much verified to sell, kind of thing. They're allowed to do that, but I still think that it was kind of a risk on the part of Marvel, because they could have easily made another Avengers movie and another Captain America movie, another Iron Man movie, but they chose to go with something totally, a bit more unique and peculiar kind of thing. And that's kind of the topic we're talking about today as well. What I wanted to talk about, if you guys did read the title, it's probably what drew you to this video, besides the charisma of Horror Studio 1, is the fact that eating a real person in a TV show. This happened. Okay, I didn't make up the title to get you guys to click on it. It happened. And it definitely happened in Canada. And actually did happen in Canada, okay? And it wasn't a snuff film, it wasn't a documentary, it was an actual produced television show, part of a television series that a individual ate another individual, performed cannibalism on national television. That happened, okay? So I'll tell you guys a bit about it and the person behind that concept, behind eating another person on TV, and their whole backstory and why it affects me as an individual as well. So I'm gonna talk a bit about the show itself, just to dive right into the topic, or else whatever, you guys will not like that, I don't know. But anyways, let's dive right into the topic of the day. Eating another person on TV. I'll tell you guys a bit about the TV show that did that. If you guys don't know, I'm from Canada. There's not a lot of Canadian TV shows that I watch, to be honest. I mean, I guess in all of North America, we're all drawn to the US when it comes to any kind of entertainment and movies, music, TV shows. We don't have a lot of our content, man. Like, come on, as Canadians, man. We're true North, strong and free, but we got nothing in the television when it comes to like TV and entertainment. So that's kind of sad for me, never get to watch anything good on TV a lot of times. So the show that did get to eat the human being was it was called Triumph of the Will. And if you guys don't know what that is, if you guys are thinking it's Triumph of the Will was actually a propaganda film by Hitler, but it's not that. It's not what we're talking about. Triumph of the Will is a produced TV show in 2007 by someone named Kenny Hotz, who actually is a Canadian actor and Canadian entertainer who I respect greatly. Okay, actually it wasn't in 2007. Triumph of the Will debuted in 2011, and he basically, it's a show about this individual named Kenny Hotz, who is already a celebrity, a reality TV celebrity, who did various challenges that challenged the human extremities, and one of them was eating a human being on TV. So Triumph of the Will ran actually for a relatively short period of time because it was canceled for being too controversial. It ran from July 22nd to August 5th in 2011, so it only ran for a couple of weeks, but they produced 6 great episodes of content with it. And I'll tell you a bit about every episode. The first episode is called Rags to Bitches. So in the first episode, it's already pretty crazy. The character of Kenny, who's actually a real person, he's playing himself, goes to see if he can make the American dream come true by going to Las Vegas. The series opens with him naked in a desert. He's got nothing. Okay, he's got nothing. And he's basically going to Las Vegas to see if he can gamble and cheat and steal his way to a successful story kind of thing, to see if he can make a living. And in a span of one episode, it was like, I think 48 hours or 24 hours, just a very short period of time, he was able to make himself from nothing, like literally fucking nothing. Okay, didn't have underwear on his body. Okay, he was just one guy naked, to getting clothes, to getting a hotel room, to go gambling, to making a lot of money. he did that whole thing in a span, in a very little span of time. And it is a TV show, but he deems it as a reality TV show. Regardless if it's true or not, it's really entertaining, and I really want you guys to check it out. The second episode is called South Switch. So the main character, I keep calling him the main character. He's actually just, it's a reality show. So he actually tries to stop to eat pork, which is one of his favorite foods, and he discovers if he can actually try to stop eating pork, kind of thing. The third one is called Children of Abraham. So he tries to get the Jewish community to build a mosque. That was very controversial because there was a lot of religious things involved in that. The fourth one is Take My Mom, Please. He tries to find a lover for his mother. Basically, in the show's context, he's saying that he tries to get his mother laid. Okay. Yes. Number 5 is the French Reconnection. He tries to overcome his hatred for the French people. And number 6, episode 6, is the topic of the day. It's called Cannibal. From his name, Kenny, and cannibal is that the person, Kenny Hotz, he tries to eat a human being and to become a cannibal on national television. And there's various ways that he does do that. This show actually broadcasted on the Canadian television station Action, but I personally watched it online when it was still on YouTube, but then I guess later they did take it down. It's very interesting. If you guys are familiar with Kenny Hotz and the way that he does his shows, it's always all reality. He does really exaggerated, humongous, massive kind of gestures and all that kind of broad humor to try to get his point across, and really real and really over the top stunts to get his things across. It was kind of like a Jackass mixed with Charlie Chaplin kind of thing, like the pie in your face, but then there's also that grotesque eating shit kind of humor as well mixed into it. And that's the way he does his things, and it's all real and it's all genuine, and that's why I guess it's so appealing to me, because I like that kind of real stuff. And that's the way he's always done his shows, right? And he really did eat a human being on national television. And if you guys are asking how the hell does someone get away with doing that, I can tell you that he went through various steps, legal steps, to make sure he was able to do that. He can only if you guys watch, it's like a 30-minute episode or 40 minutes, but it's really precise, it's really condensed, and it's really accurate the way he does it. He basically had to go through the legal steps of making sure he could not get fucking charged, right? If you eat someone online, even if I ate someone's fingernail online, like is still, I guess, considered cannibalism, because if you eat any part of a human body, unless you eat someone's hair, which can come off and regenerate kind of thing. If you eat someone's skin, that is illegal. If you drink someone's blood, that is illegal. So he had to make sure that he could not get charged, and the only way is that if he ate someone that was not alive. He could only eat dead people. And he did do that, actually. He did that with the various steps. At the end, did a very extreme act of eating a human organ. And how did he do that? Well, first thing he did was that he ate the dead foot skin from his crew members. So basically what he did was that he told all his crew members to take off their shoes, and took like one of those plier things, I guess, when you cut your toenails, the other part that kind of just, you can rub it, scratch it against your skin. He did that with the feet, on the bare foot of his crew members, the sole of their feet, until all their dead skin fell out, and he kind of gathered all that and just shoved it into his mouth. And I guess that's kind of the way he wanted to do it. He wanted to eat 4 elements of the human body. He wanted to eat the skin, the blood. Oh, I'm dying. Sorry. He wanted to eat the skin, the blood, the bone, and an organ. So he ate the skin of his crew members. He drank the blood of one of his other crew members as well. And it was funny because he was drinking the blood and he actually puked the blood out, which I don't know if it technically counts, but I mean, as long as it goes into your mouth, I guess you did consume that aspect, right? And then he grinded the baby tooth of his crew as well. So he grinded all their baby teeth and he kind of made like a mix into like a drink and he drank it. And that was his way of eating the bone. And of course, finally, he ate a human organ. How are you able to eat a human organ? Well, first of all, it wasn't the organ of a living person, of course. It was actually a placenta, the place where, mothers have their babies inside when they're... see, I'm not a doctor. Man, I don't know how to describe this. So it's basically the part where the mother has the baby inside, and then after the baby is born, the placenta is basically a useless organ that needs to be removed or something like that. And he actually got one sent to him by a fan. So one of his fans actually sent him a real life human placenta. Maybe it's their own kind of thing. So it's like, whoa, the ultimate kind of worship right there. Imagine you had a famous celebrity and you sent them a piece of yourself and they ate it. That's basically what he did. And then he ate that real life placenta. He actually took it from mail. It was like a FedEx thing. So he got it from mail, and then he brought it to his house, and he had a chef who was really good at cooking. They actually cooked the placenta with all the ingredients and made it look really delicious. Like, I'm not gonna lie, man, like, it looked really good. It looked like a steak or something like that. That's how good they made it. They had all the side dishes and all that stuff, and they even had an umbilical cord, in which he said it was really chewy when he chewed it. So he ate that on screen as well. And yeah, they cooked it, they ate it. And actually, an interesting fact is that after they did that, he was kind of a certified, cannibal, even though technically, I guess, because it says that in the series as well that they actually have legal advice, and the legal person said that cannibalism might not be illegal in all states and everywhere, but because it includes a lot of other things like murder and physical assault and all that kind of stuff. You just had to be really careful how you went about doing it and stuff. And I guess that's the precautions they had to take when filming. And I guess in every kind of production, it's always that's very important. The going about, thinking about the various steps kind of thing. Even for myself, when I make YouTube videos, some of the stuff I say here, I find I gotta be really careful what I say and stuff like that. I mean, if I make a stupid joke that could cross the line, maybe it could really affect my channel and affect myself, because this is all broadcasted, to be honest. Right now, I'm not a television station, but at least I am broadcasted. So even some of the music I use and some of the pictures, I always have to be really careful. And that's, I guess, only people that produce content will actually understand. That's something that only we understand. So I mean, you guys get entertained, but there's actually a lot of hard work that gets into doing various things kind of thing. So actually, there was an interesting thing about the episode of Cannibal as well. Just back to that, in the last scene, they actually wanted, Kenny Hotz, he's such an extreme kind of showsman that he actually wanted to eat himself. And how he wanted to go about doing that, he actually said this in one of his podcasts, was that he wanted to basically get a liposuction from all his body fat and put it inside a giant tube. And then that was supposed to be the last frame of the show, was that he took the entire tube of his own liposuctioned fat and poured it on himself, and he ate it. That's basically what he wanted to do on camera on national television. But of course, he never did that because it would take, various weeks for him to heal and to actually do the liposuction. Granted, that's not the point. The point is the show was actually canceled, and he knew that it was going to be canceled. The guy is such a... he knew that his show was about to be canceled because the things he's done is so extreme that, that no television network would keep somebody with that extremes of ideas. If you guys know this individual, Kenny Hotz, and the record of the shows he's done in the past, you guys will know what I'm talking about. The various things he did in other shows, Kenny versus Spenny, I'll talk a bit about that, and his other ventures as well. The shit he's done there, you cannot keep someone like that on a television station, especially if a lot of people are watching. He was on CBC kind of thing, and Yeah, you don't put some shit like that on CBC. It's really hard for a national television station to broadcast stuff like this. So, of course, he ended it with him eating a person on TV, basically, as his last episode, as his goodbye kind of thing. And, yeah, that's basically, if you guys want to check it out, it's a Triumph of the Will, and you guys can actually see a person eat another person on TV. Yeah, I never thought you'd see that, right? And I think he was the first person in like television history to do that. So if you guys do want to check it out, I think it's so badass in my opinion. Like would I have the balls to do that? I don't know, man. I just have to be at that level. I'm not even near that level of, of just ballsiness, of that badassery. I'm definitely not, man. I'm a guy with a mic. Come on now. Come on. I make podcasts. I'm a puss. Anyways, just kidding. So I'll talk a bit about Kenny Hatz himself. He's Canadian, of course. Yes! Actually talking about some Canadian people on my podcast. Anyways, just art of and tongue and free, true patriot love. Anyways, that was a bit of the Canadian anthem for those who didn't know. I just felt like I wanted to sing it. Anyways, so he was born in 1967. He had his show Kenny vs. Spenny on Comedy Central, and he actually was a writer for South Park as well. And he's won multiple awards. He's been filming since he was 5 years old, and he writes for Vice magazine, and he was also a Gulf War photojournalist as well in the past. So he's basically a documentary guy. He loves doing reality stuff and reality TV and all that kind of jazz. And yeah, I mean, if you guys have not watched Kenny vs. Spenny, which is a Canadian show, go check it out. It's fucking extreme. Okay, the things they do, making his best friend, because basically the show is the concept of the show is two best friends, Kenny Hatz and his other friend, which is named Spencer. These two guys have been childhood friends since they were kids, but the thing is they have such opposing personalities, with Kenny being a very devilish, mischievous individual, while the other character, Spenny, which is a very neurotic, insecure man. And that's how, two best friends who have such clashing personalities compete against each other in various stupid tournaments, really. There's stuff like who can produce more semen, or who can catch a bigger fish, or who can stay awake for 10 days kind of thing. And the one that they did that I want to talk a bit about actually was the who can stay in a haunted house the longest, which we are a horror channel, so I'll talk a bit about that. So it's a really hardcore show, it's a really interesting show, it's a really real show. Okay, if you guys think it's fake, go check it out, and it's really great content. And definitely check it out. The haunted house episode, which I watched, was really good as well. I think he broke a record for Canadian TV as well for saying fuck the most times on a Canadian television. He just says fuck. Yeah, it's those kind of shows kind of thing. So if you guys are interested in that, go check that out as well. And in the haunted house episode, the premise was actually the two guys were competing. They were going to stay in a haunted house. It was a very famous haunted house, and they were going to stay there until the first person to leave the haunted house loses, basically. Oh yeah, and one thing about the show is that they do humiliations towards each other. So if they lose a competition towards one another, the loser has to do whatever the winner says. And some shit that they've done to each other is making each other eat their boogers, or trying to get the other guy to drink his semen. Like, it's so fucked up. It's really fucked up, but it's also really adventurous kind of thing. It's really revolutionary in my opinion, especially for any kind of TV, and especially Canadian TV as well. I don't think any Canadian show has done that. It's probably the most popular Canadian show in the world. So if you guys want to find the epitome of Canadian content, even as comedy or in reality, or just, in my opinion, any kind of programming in Canada, go watch Kenny vs. Spenny. It ran for 6 seasons. People are trying to get it for season 7. I've watched it ever since I was a kid. The first one I watched was who can get further with the other guy's mom. Yeah, think about that. And then that just hooked me right there. How they were trying to sexually advance with the other person's mother kind of thing. And yeah, I mean, now you know why he's canceled so many times, because That's kind of shit, So yeah, go check that out. The haunted house episode, actually, how Kenny got Spenny to leave the haunted house was actually a really funny ordeal. Basically, they were trying to scare the shit out of each other, right? I mean, what else are you gonna do? Because it's a haunted house, it's a ghost themed episode, right? So they're trying to scare the shit out of each other. And if you guys don't know, the most interesting aspect of that show is not really the competition itself. Yes, that is interesting. The budget is not really the draw of what's going on. The most interesting part is the chemistry between the two individuals, because they're so different, right? One is like a chauvinistic go-getter, that's Kenny. He's like he's really opportunist kind of individual, right? And there's the other side, which is paranoid, which is scared, which is afraid, and in that episode, Spenny, the other one, was really scared, right? He's scared very easily, intimidated very easily. So Kenny had a great time scaring the shit out of him in that haunted house kind of thing. And at the very end, actually, he took a real life animal head for satanic rituals and basically was summoning Satan in the haunted house. And that ended up with one of the people running out the haunted house and stuff like that. But I'm just trying to say that it's really revolutionary in that kind of aspect, and I think it's really important for any kind of genre to have people that are able to do that. And I think that somehow influenced me as well, and why I'm so drawn to the context that contents that Kenny Hotz makes. I find his stuff very interesting for me, besides the fact that he is a Canadian hero in my opinion, especially in the media genre and that kind of stuff. What I really like is that he's willing to take risks, and I think that's really should be the topic of today. Besides the fact that some guy and another guy on TV, it's the fact that what are you willing to do to make good content, to make interesting content, right? If you're just doing the same things over and over and over again, I'd rather not do it, right? I mean, if you guys look at Horror Studio 1, my own channel, my most popular videos are the countdown videos, right? I'm not gonna lie and say that I don't care about views and I don't give a shit. I'm just gonna do whatever the fuck I want on this channel. It's not true like that. I do care about views. I care about subscribers. I know what gets people to watch me, and I know what people don't want to watch. And but just the one thing is, I don't want to do the same thing as everyone else. I could sit here and make top 10 Reddit scary stories every single day. I could do that every single day, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5 kind of thing. But is that adding any kind of value to the market, to the industry that we're in? No, I don't think so. So I just wanted to share, first of all, what's genuine to myself and what's real to myself, but also what is different from everyone else. And that's why I do, I guess, a variety of different kind of content on my stuff, from creepypastas to countdowns to podcasts. And I just want to share the horror community with everyone, basically, with differentness, with a variety. Because if everyone was the same, then life would be very boring. So, I guess I take those Kenny Hotz kind of mentalities as my way of doing my content as well. So if you guys want to check out Triumph of the Will, Kenny versus Spenny, all that kind of stuff, please go check out this amazing Canadian content. Go check it out. Even if you aren't Canadian, go check it out. It's just, I don't think you've seen something like this on TV before. And definitely check out that episode 6, Cannibal of Triumph of the Will, because that's where you see a person eat another person. So yeah, Horror Studio 1, this one was a bit longer, and I guess I was really enthusiastic in this one, more than usual, I guess. But yeah, I do feel strongly about the things I say, and I want to thank you all for your continued support. I really, I feel really good when you guys comment saying that you guys like my podcast and you guys enjoy what I do, because I do put a lot of hard work into it. So thank you so much for commenting, liking, and thank you a lot for subscribing as well. So yeah, Horror Studio 1, and I'm gonna be going now. Bye bye. See you guys.